and I came to the conclusion that I was not going to get these problems, this one problem actually, with the repeater software that I was writing, the GStreamer problem that I had, which I told you about last time I was on, actually a few weeks ago, where I just couldn't. I even put some C code up there, and I've put feelers out. I've asked people. Some have promised to come back to me and they haven't. And forums, you know, nothing from forums. Blah 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 blah. So I guess nobody knows. So I thought, well, I'm wasting my time here. I've had enough of GStreamer. The project is dead. And then a day later I thought, I'm not throwing all that code away that I wrote. No way. So I've started to rewrite the whole thing, but not use GStreamer. And I'm trying to rewrite it all in pure Go, the whole thing, and see how far I get with that. So that I'm in the habit of doing this. I've always been in the habit of rewriting software that I've written before many, many times. In fact, the version that I'm stuck on is actually version 13 of the most recent iteration. But before that, there were about 6 other versions. So I'm quite used to rewriting software. And the thing is, I learn, the more I write, the more I learn, kind of thing, you know. So anyhow, doing that got me thinking about this ongoing problem that everybody has regarding lip sync. And I just want to pass this by you. It's a kind of a hypothesis, if you like, from someone who doesn't really know who he's talking about, which is me, of course. But no matter what receiver you're using, they're all different, aren't they, with regard to lip sync. You know, you can tune your microphone lip sync on whatever you're using, whether it's OBS or whatever, you know, a hardware switcher like I use, or that other hardware switcher, whatever it is, or if you're just going straight into a modem and you've got an audio input. It's a problem. It's a problem, but it's unsolvable, isn't it? So what's in common? What's in common? We know every receiver's different. So what is the common denominator then? Well, it must be this. This is my logic now. It must be the signal that we're actually sending. There must be something wrong with it. Okay? And the fact that all the receivers are different doesn't mean that they've all got different offsets. It means that the offset is random, depending on the architecture of the way the receiver is built, if you like. So because they're not getting the correct signal in the first place. Now, you can fiddle around with the delay settings on OBS, for example, or whatever. But all that is doing, that is placing the audio on a digital stream. So there's a stream going by like that, and you can put the audio there, or you could put the audio here, but the stream's going by. So that is not the solution. That's the solution to bring synchronization between your external audio source, your microphone, and the video. They're two separate entities. They're sourced from completely different places, and the audio might come from a microphone, it might come from an analog, digital to analog converter, it might come from anywhere. And so therefore they put this in to allow for the fact that your audio coming in isn't going to be on time, so you can fiddle with it. That's how it works. It's the stream. Now, so you finish up with a stream of audio, a raw audio, and you finish it with a stream of raw video, and each goes into an encoder. In the case of the video, it's an H.265 encoder, for example, and the audio goes into an ACC encoder. Okay, and then they get muxed together to form one stream, which is called your transport stream. And then it goes into your Pluto or whatever, and that's where it gets modulated. Now, there's a big question, which I've never resolved. What else does the Pluto do? I'm not blaming the Pluto. I'm just putting it under suspicion. Yes, if you by modulating this stream coming in, that isn't going to change the synchronization between the audio and the video. And if it did, as we all use the same software, i.e. Everest software, I think everybody uses that. I don't think anybody else uses anything different. We'd all have the same problem, and therefore, but we don't all have the same problem. So I think you can rule it out. However, I have the feeling that inside the Pluto software, there is some transcoding going on. For example, in the UDP stream, you can put 32 instead of 64 for the audio. So that would transcode it, maybe. I don't know. So maybe the transcoding is messing it up. I don't know. I think we can assume that programs that have been around so long, such as FFmpeg, get it right. And I think we can assume that VLC gets it right. In other words, if you play any real well-encoded stream into VLC, it'll be in sync. Okay? So the problem actually comes back to us, I think. That's my hypothesis. Now, when you mux these two streams together, the audio and video, one of the tags is a PTS, which is a program time display or whatever it's called. And there's one for the video and one for the audio. And these numbers that's attached to the video and the audio will be the same at some point. And if they get offset, the mux will put them together again. So how are we putting the PTS on the audio and the video? I don't know what I'm talking about. You probably think I'm talking about my backside, actually. But I just want to put that up for thought. That could be the problem. The problem could be not all the receivers, but our source. Food for thought, I think. So where are we going next? Oh, we're going to the Oracle now. Simon, G4ELI from EA7KIR.
Right, a bit of audio coming through. Good evening, everyone. And interesting what you were saying there, Michael, about lip sync. I'm very sure Everest will not be changing the data that you've sent. I really don't think it will be. The way to set up correct lip sync is to use a receiver like VLC, play a video, not necessarily one of us, but a movie or whatever, get the lip sync adjusted correctly in VLC for a known good source, and then use that for setting up your own lip sync. In my opinion, your lip sync's perfect. Anyway, I was looking in my code. I was thinking to myself earlier today, how long have I been writing this SDR television? Well, on May the 10th, it'll be 3 years. I thought it would be a 1 year project. It'll be 3 years on May the 10th. So there we go. As you'll see, if you look at window, various pictures and things, you'll see that I'm using version 1.0.16, which is the same software I was using last week with the dynamic video resizing in it. So OBS Studio here is actually sending me 1280 by 720, and I'm resizing to 1024 by 576. Makes life a bit easier for the encoders. Been spending most of the last few days working on a map. I generally run a map on one of my spare monitors, and I've been spending some time working on that. I got a lot of chilies in the greenhouse, which is over there. I'll get some pictures for next week. And I bought a random six chilies from the South Devon chili farm. And they range from pepperoncini, which is 0 on the Scoville scale, but it's supposed to be full of taste, to a chocolate reaper, which is over 2 million on the Scoville scale. So there we go. That's what I've been doing. And the comments regarding the lip sync, I haven't set myself up, so I will do. I'll get that set up at some stage for next week. So no more to say, just looking. Yes, been talking for almost 3 minutes. I see, speaking about talking, I see Colin, KLB's not on. So over to Richard, GI4DOH, from G4ELI.
G4ELI with the BATC net, GI4DOH. Just waiting. Have I audio? Yes, I have. Yes. Good evening. It's been a while. I think I missed the last 3 weeks between Blackpool and then having a week in Sicily, which was interesting because I didn't take any radio equipment with me. It's not very often I go to a country I haven't been before and not take radio equipment with me, but it was a holiday and a very nice one at that. Just getting the act together here on the issue of taking photographs of the sun. There's one I took about 20 to 6 this evening. You see lots and lots of sunspots, which is very nice. I do that occasionally when I think there's a lot of interest there. For the sunspot number today is 160, which is pretty respectable, and the solar flux index is 143. It was down to solar flux index was down to 98 a couple of weeks ago for 2 or 3 days. 100 is the sort of tipping point with good DX and not good DX. So that was a bit disconcerting so soon after the peak of the current sunspot cycle, assuming there isn't a third peak. I believe we've had 2 peaks so far. And it's generally a fairly slow decline into the dip before the start of the next one. So I was a little bit worried that is, I do like the DX. So what else? Good evening to Don, EIFDJ. I see you're on the chat there, and also Bill, GI3MMF in Belfast. Robert's not on the streamer at the moment, but he did pop up, so I don't know whether you logged out and whether you're still there or not, in which case, good evening, Robert. Passed your house earlier as he was driving down into Bangor. So, you've been busy with travel and the rest, and also with the Blackpool thing. And the coming up is Dayton. I think I fly out to Dayton on the 13th of next month. So my carbon footprint this year is pretty awful. But you know, I'm enjoying myself. That's the main thing. The little amplifier, which is ultimately going to go on the GB3 deal repeater, the Bert Mottram one, is now mounted on a box. Just getting control circuitry, and they'll have a little display on there and various other things. So a bit of work to do on that, but I've actually got round to doing something with it. It took me a while to get started on hacking holes in the die-cast box, and I actually found that I got myself some 24 tooth coping saw blades. I know they're not designed for metal, but having read up online that this is what some people are using, and right enough, they cut through it with the blade mounted, so you cut on the upstroke, so you don't run the risk of the the blade collapsing as you push down and then snapping it, and the holes in that were very easy to do. Indeed, the little mounts for a power pole connector there, the hole in that has flat sides on it to stop the thing rotating, and that was very easy to do with the coping. So new technique after 70 years. I finally find a way to do that. I wonder what other people do. Anyway, enough for me this time round. It's round to you now, James G0DQH with the BATC net. This is GI4DOH.
Right, apologies for that. I forgot to set the stream first. I hit transmit and I thought, oh, I'm not decoding. There's a signal there, but I'm not decoding. I forgot to actually do the streamer or the streaming software. Anyway, good evening all. Apologies for that. As I say, operator old age, that's what I put it down to. What are we up to? Not too much actually. Trying to get GB3 LX working, which is the one over there, which is the local 10 gig repeater. Unfortunately, where I'm looking through, there's one big tree. It's right through the centre of the tree. And at the moment, we've got one heck of a lot of wind up here at the moment, and it's just moving this tree about far too much. Just keep losing it, unfortunately. So on the SQ net, we spoke about dishes and stuff, but I can't really fit a dish at the moment for various reasons. So I was going to put a horn onto the LNB. I'm only using a barefoot LNB. Similar thing to this, just an old Bob Platts 9 gig LNB that I've had for God knows how many years, DRO based, but that's analog anyway, so the DRO is more than adequate for that. So what we did, I made up some cones. This isn't one of them, unfortunately. This is one just to test it. But I put one with foil on the inside, and it works. It works really well, actually. It doesn't overcome the problem of the tree, but the signal definitely went up with it, and it was just literally retrofitted like that, and it worked really, really well. I'm hoping when the wind stops a bit to to try this one, which it's just a little bit more, but with the wind out there, I'll just keep doing that all the time at the moment. It's not worth trying it, but just as a bit of fun, just to try. And this one, the way I did it was an online template thing that you could go to. You could put the size you want up here, the size you want down here, and the height if you want it, and it would draw the template as a PDF for you. And if you go bigger than an A4, it will tile the PDFs to give you the biggest sheet that you stick together, and then you fold it all round. I don't think you can really see in there. Possibly you can see the various different bits of paper in there. Probably not, but anyway. And then I just covered it in foil tape, the aluminium type foil tape, which got a few bumps and lumps in it, but I found it quite forgiving. I doubt very much they'd be super good, but yeah. So there we go. My neighbours must think, what the hell is that guy doing? Anyway, that was that. What else have I done? The streaming, by the way, I'm doing. I'm streaming to my own stream at the moment, and I'm using one of those little clients that I've got, and it's running Linux LXDE, is it, or something like that? Whatever the thing's called, I can't remember now. Which is a full desktop plus OBS plus FFmpeg and all the other bits and pieces it's got on there, with just 2 meg of memory, 2 gig of memory and 8 gig of storage, which I find absolutely amazing, to be honest. And it's working really well. It's been running for a couple of days now, and it's not tripped over. The only problem is the signal isn't strong enough to make it usable. So I may have to stop it shortly and leave it until such times either the trees fallen over or signals improve slightly at my end. So that's that. What else have I done? got that on there. I think that's it really. Haven't really done much else. She's been off past couple of days, so plenty of shopping involved. So yeah, not my favourite hobby. So with that, let's put it on round to James, G0DQH, G7, James.
Okay, just check the audio. Okay, just check the audio. Okay, yeah, fine. Good evening, everyone. Just bring me up. There we go. I wasn't around for the last week or so. Mo and I, on the spur of the moment, really decided to whiz off down to Devon, where I grew up, of course, in Bideford, and had a super time, really did. But it was cold. It was sunny, but it was very cold. But it's always about 2 degrees colder, I find, in North Devon than it is here on the south coast. I'm just about 10 miles. No, it's not as far as that. Actually, it's 5 miles north of the city of Southampton. So anyway, I did watch the streaming last week on my phone. So um, that, so I listened in on that. A couple of things. I haven't been down to Devon for over a year, and I was amazed at the amount of building going on down there. The amount of cars has probably doubled. I think I counted 6 times where I could have come to grief with people racing around and just not looking what they're doing. And I don't race around anymore. I just I want to get there and back in one piece. But a couple of things we did. There's always one place I always visit down there, and that's Cornborough Cliffs, and it's near the village of Abbotsham, and it's a really nice walk. Park the car up; it costs nothing to park, and then just walk down to the beach. And it's only the locals that know this, so it's not used quite so much. So we went out and about. We went to a place called Bucks Mills, and it's not as far around as Clovelly. It's very similar to Clovelly, but there's no parking involved, no cost in parking, and it's a nice walk down in amongst old whitewashed cottages down to a very steep walk down to the beach, but you can actually see Clovelly just round the corner to the left, and Hartland Point, and also Lundy Island, of course. And the other place we went to, and that was on the spur of the moment, and I hadn't been there for a very long time, was Hartland Quay. Not a lot there. There's obviously the car park and the pub and the hotel, and people out swimming. But the jagged rocks that come up from the ocean there is quite spectacular. I remember my cousin Peter went fishing there and got cut off by the tide and had to be winched up to the top of the headland by helicopter. And that rock is now called Helicopter Rock. A couple of other funny things that you probably saw my message on there about. We went past this farm, and on the gate it was "keep out or else," and I thought that was really funny. But one of the other funny things, and I might have mentioned this before, but I got involved when I came back from Western Australia in '83. Got involved in Citizens Band Radio, and the local CB shop in Barnstable, and I quote, it says, the hours of business when I get here till when I leave. So what else can I say? But I thought that was quite funny as well. One of the things that you probably don't know, I got involved in CREST, the Citizens Emergency Service in Australia, and I'll give a little chat about that maybe further on in a week or two's time. But it's quite interesting the range on single sideband with only 8 watts maybe, and the coverage around Australia was amazing. Anyway, but going to Devon, we found it at least 2 degrees colder up there, and here, of course, it's nice. Anyway, nicer that is, and I've been busy out doing gardening as well, Dave, and it's looking pretty good. I've put the stakes in for the runner beans, but I haven't seen the other beans come up yet. The French beans, they're still taking their time. Anyway, that's it from me. I think you take it back now, Keith, don't you? So I'll say I'm not going to be around for a second go, but I'll be watching. Okay, this is G0DQH, and I'm located in Valley Park in Chandler's Ford. We're located about halfway between Southampton and Winchester. So, a very good evening to everyone, and hopefully catch up with you next week. And if you haven't noticed, I'm down to 109 kilos. So I was 119, so I've lost 10 kilos in the last 3 months because of type 2 diabetes. So we're getting there, and it's a little bit more to go, but I'm sure we'll win through in the end. I've got my other half is making sure that I'm not eating too much. Anyway, back to you, Keith, from G0DQH, and I'll just be watching if you don't mind. So just shut it.
Yeah, G0DQH. Yeah, G0DQH. GU6CFB. Okay, James. Yeah, fine on everything, and yeah, congratulations on the weight loss there. Yeah, I haven't got the same problems, but I've been told to lose a bit of weight as well before it does cause me problems. So yeah, we've lost a few kilos as well. So we know the effort it takes to get there. So well done, keep it up. Yeah, thanks to everybody there. Very interesting net as always. The topic of lip sync is a good one, and I was chatting with Martin, G8KOE, and we did some tests, etc. One of the things I did was I did a recording of myself and then played it back through some video editing software so I could see the audio stream and the video stream. And then what I did was I counted the frames different between the audio, the video and the audio, and used one of the online calculators. So you put in your frame rate and you put in your frame delay between audio and video, and it tells you how many milliseconds to either advance or decrease audio and video. And that did actually work for me. I'm not saying I'm perfect tonight because I've been playing with all sorts of things. Apologies for the audio at the beginning. I don't know what happened there, but it's working now. Running the BATC net is quite a lot of fun actually, but gets a bit stressful at times. You've got your own transmission to worry about. you've got the stream to make sure is sending out audio and video. And in the case of tonight, there was no audio, so again, apologies, but we'll try and get it right next time. Making sure you can receive everybody who's participating, so the information goes out on the stream, etc. And watching transmissions as well. It all gets a little bit hectic, but all good fun, and I'm sure the more I do it, the better I'll get at it. And one of these days, Michael, I'll get my audio right as well. But we are working on it. But been playing around with the Discord server, and yeah, it's very good. There's next to no delay on video and audio. It really is very, very good. I've got a problem tonight, as John JTT, who has probably saw it, will see. For some reason, I've got the image mirrored, and for the life of me, I can't work out where the setting is. So all the writing's coming out back to front and all sorts of stuff. So we'll get it right anyway. And anyway, back round to our Spanish correspondence there. EA7KIR. Comments on the audio, please, Michael, from GU6EFB.
Yeah, yeah, your audio level's fine now, Keith. But as I said before, it was plus 50, I think, something like that. Yeah, that's a nice way of getting sync, I suppose. But of course, it's not really doing anything more than what you could do, like that, really, is it? I mean, you could do the same thing and just tweak it. At the end of the day, I mean, well, yeah, okay. If you record a video, you can actually count the frames and so on, yeah. But a frame is 40 milliseconds, so it's not a difficult calculation, is it, really? So, at 25 frames a second it is, anyhow, so you can work it out yourself. It's seconds divided by frames per second. 1 divided by 25, 40 milliseconds. And Simon, I think your logic is flawed there, because, I mean, yeah, well, both of you actually, because you're only doing it on one receiver. Simon says, oh, I do it on VLC. Well, great, you can get it on, we can all do that. But what about the other receivers, including your own, which is software you wrote inside SDR Television? And then there's the RIDE, and there's a few others as well. And they're all different, you see. That's the point. They're all different. So it's all very well tuning it up to VLC, but not everybody uses VLC. Anyhow, the weather here's warming up. Very warm today, actually. No sweater tonight, you notice. In fact, it might even be short sleeves next week if it carries on like this. And on another entirely different subject, both Peter and myself don't particularly like going to supermarkets. So what we do now, we've been doing this for a while actually. Peter does it, of course, not me. She places an order online with the supermarket and orders enough food for a month. So when it comes, there's a lot of it. I mean, a lot. I mean, it's only if you're buying a lot, you see, and that is a lot, isn't it? A month. It's paying 10 euros to have a guy bring it round and right to your door. It is well worth it. So I pick up this bag. I stoop down and pick up this carrier bag, one of them, and it was a bit heavy, and I got this excruciating pain in the centre of my back, at the bottom of my spine, and I am still suffering. Really, really, very, very painful, like someone was sticking a knife in me. I suffered it for a day, and then I went to see an osteopath, and paid him 40 euros for an hour. And I walked out of there feeling absolutely fine. Great. But within a few hours, back to normal. And I'm still suffering. And, I'm sitting down now. I've been sat down now for whatever time it is, 40 minutes or so. And when I try to stand up, I'm going to be, well, I am an old man, but I'll be standing up like an old man. So I don't know these things tend to go away eventually, don't they? But I think it takes a long time. It's as simple as that, actually. So I'm suffering. Anyhow, that's enough from me. Where are we going now? Are we going back to Simon now? Back to Simon for G4 ELI from EA7KIR. Over to you, Simon.
Let's get that up so I know who's going to be next. Righto, regarding lip sync, no, there's a bit of a misunderstanding there, Michael. Use any receiver you want, but calibrate it, and calibrate it with, for example, a DVD. If VLC will, if your receiver will do that, but calibrate your receiver with a known good source. Play, for example, play a YouTube video. If you calibrate your receiver, then you know that the receiver's good. So what you then do after that is you just transmit through the satellite and adjust the transmit offset. And that's... but your lip sync and I see Keith's lip sync with me, they both are, I think, as far as I'm aware, they're as good as they should be, but I haven't set my own up properly on transmit. So I'm receiving the pair of you with perfect lip sync, but I haven't set the transmit up. Losing weight, you have my sympathy. My father died at 52, and his autopsy of his heart was dreadful. But there was he was of an age when people were drinking a lot and smoking cigars, and he'd really weakened his heart with that. Great shame, because he was a doctor, of course. So I eat a lot of salad, and I'm very fortunate. 2 fields away in that direction, we've got Treba Gardens, which is apparently one of the top 10 gardens in the world, certainly one of the top 5 in this country. Very famous, has an excellent canteen/restaurant, very, very good indeed. And just for example, lunchtime today, I took that thing down there in its basket and had a very fine Mediterranean salad, very good indeed. So, but I do watch my weight all the time. I have to. Yes, and just going back in time, of course, go back in time. Standard fare would be pie and chips. I remember when I was younger, and it wasn't a particularly healthy lifestyle. And when my mother died and I was cleaning out the house and the kitchen, she had her mother's cookbooks. And the diet there, it was not good for your heart. It really wasn't. Lots of suet. It was overdone. It really was. We know so much more now, so that's good. Right. So nothing more to say. Obviously, Mike MJW is still away. I'll be on next week. And Michael's asking, I see you're asking, how do you calibrate VLC? You've got a setting option somewhere in the settings of VLC, so you can adjust the audio that way. Or you can just adjust the offsets. It is a problem all in all, because there's when you're writing the software to transmit, you say to the encoder, encode this frame, but you don't know what delay, what latency there is actually in the encoder. Because an encoder will typically send a full image and then a whole heap of delta images, and you just don't know what the delay in the encoder is. Similarly with the audio, well, you can expect there's going to be minimal delay in the audio. But with the video, you just don't know what's going on in the encoders. hence, anyone who's writing software for transmitting, like what I'm using, you put in the option to sliders, which you can adjust. And of course, I haven't adjusted them. And similarly on receive, you don't know how long it's going to take with the decoders. Any latency in the decoders, the audio latency shouldn't be too bad, but the video latency could be considerable. I suppose everyone's looked at their television sets and seen that you've got, not called lip sync, but whatever it's called on the television set to adjust it. Particularly as my main room in the house over there, it's quite big. I've got a big television screen, and I'm relatively far away from it. Excuse me. So there we go, almost up to my 5 minutes. So I'll see you all next week. And don't forget, Sundays at 10:30 on the sideband part of the transponder, sort of over in that direction, we have the AMSAT UK net. You don't need to be a member. 10:30 in the morning, and talk to people. You don't have to worry about your appearance at all. Don't need to have a bath or anything. Right, over to, oh, good heavens, who is it now? Richard. Over to Richard and 7-3 all from G4ELI. From G4ELI.
G4ELI with the BATC net. This is GI4DOH. Just getting rid of the audio there. Sorry about the chaos I caused earlier. I sort of glanced at the list and didn't quite take in that it had probably the wrong list that I looked at, which is why I got the wrong person there. But I think it's back to Keith this time. I've checked in advance in readiness. Yes, so by weight, I've also got type 2 diabetes, and I'm a bit over what I should be, and not enough to make me really do anything about it, but it was noticeable in the week in Sicily. I actually lost a few pounds, and it's not that I wasn't eating well. It was certainly Mediterranean diet and buffet type things for breakfast and the evening meal in the hotel. But it's the snacks in between meals, and particularly if you sit down with some liquid refreshment at the end of the night, it tend to be quite a few calories by way of crisps or snacks and the rest. So it's quite funny. Cutting those out makes a difference. But I'm still here. Also, Michael had the issue that if I've been sitting for any length of time, I'm like an old man, which now in my 70s I am. When I get up, but I go horse riding twice a week. Tomorrow's the next day, and I've recovered from Tuesday's session, so I can do it, but I stiffen up very, very quickly. It'll be interesting to see how I get on with the Dublin to Chicago flight in a couple of weeks. When I'm heading out to Dayton, and then shortly after that flying from Chicago to Dayton. So there's going to be a lot of sitting in that, but you know, that's part of life. I had the option to go down to the local shop to get a couple of provisions earlier, and I took the car where I could have walked, but you know, that's how it goes. So on the amplifier that I'm working on, I've already got, I wonder if you can see it, there's a PCB in there. The power goes into that, and there are some very low resistance, I think 4 of them in parallel, very low resistance surface mount resistors. And then there's a little, I don't think it's in there, you can buy a little module which has the chip on it for measuring the voltage drop across those and calculating the current, and it's an I2C output. So I have another board still to be mounted on the thing. So provision somewhere for an Arduino Nano. Could also put a switch mode regulator. Don't actually need it because there's one on the other board, and that does all my PTT switching. That gives me a standard ground for PTT, and will switch whatever voltage I want for the bias on the amplifier. The amplifier, does it actually show? Yeah, on the just in the corner down there has one of those, or sorry, two of those boards in it. My spare amplifier has that. The amp that's currently on the GB3 DO repeater has that. So it's a design that designed it once, and this will be the fifth one I think I'll be doing. It will tell me what the there's also a temperature sensor. Now, yeah, it's actually again a little board with the temperature sensor chip on it. Also an I2C thing that will go into the Arduino, and the display will tell me what the temperature is, tell me what the current is, tell me what the voltage is, and also will tell me how many seconds I've been transmitting if I use the same code, and probably won't have any reason to change it. So give me something to play with anyway. So enough for me. I should be around next week, as far as we see from my diary. I hope to see you all then. So wish you all a good night. Again, a good chat, some interesting stuff. I'm not commenting on my lip sync. It is what it is. I've set it up, and I don't see a lot of point in setting up again. In that depends which receiver I'm using, whether my lip sync is correct or not. Such is life. So over to you, Keith, to tie it up. GU6CFB or to BATC net. This is GI4DOH. Good night, all.
GI4DOH, GU6CFB. Yeah, okay, Richard. Yeah, thanks for that. And that amplifier and PCB looks absolutely superb. I wonder if that's your own design of PCB there, but it looks really, really good. And okay, on yeah, the gardens down there sounds idyllic. Simon must pop round that way one day and have a bit of a tour around the south coast of the UK. Okay, on the horse riding there, Richard. Well done on that. My two granddaughters often take me horse riding, and it's good fun, good exercise. But a couple of weeks ago I was taking the two horses back to the field, one in each hand. One horse decided to go left and the other one decided to go right, and I twisted my knee and ended up sat on the floor and couldn't move for about 20 minutes, and I'm still hobbling now. So all good fun, and all the granddaughters could do was stand there and laugh. Anyway, all good fun. Not sure who it is next week. It may be me. I know Gareth has got problems with his PA, so if he hasn't got it sorted, it might be me again. Okay, I wish everyone a good week. For those interested in Formula 1, don't forget it's the Grand Prix this weekend, and enjoy the bank holiday weekend. I just hope the weather continues. It's about 22 degrees down here at the present moment, sunny. Like Michael, very, very warm indeed. Okay, I wish you all a good weekend. Wish everyone best 7-3s, and catch you all again next week. This closes the BATC net, and the frequency is now clear. 7-3s all.